Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at why this airport has never had a flight. Most large airports have a lot of flights. For example, JFK Airport in New York has 800 flights per day. But there's one 15-year-old airport in Berlin, Germany, which has never had a flight or any passengers. Today we're going to look at why this is and if a flight will ever land at this German airport. But before we take off, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too? Germany is known for its great engineering and efficiency. But that trope stops when you head over to Berlin, specifically Berlin's airports. Right now there are two active airports in Berlin. One of them is called Tegel Airport and the other is called Schönefeld. These two airports are said to be some of the worst airports in the world. They're very badly made and also incredibly inefficient. You may wonder why there's two airports in Berlin. Well, this goes back to when East and West Berlin were split in two. Germany actually used to be two countries, East Germany and West Germany. After World War II, the Allies broke Germany up into different sections. The Soviet Union got East Germany and the NATO Allied forces got West Germany. Now, because Berlin is in the east of Germany, you may assume the Soviet Union got all of that. But there was actually an exception made for Berlin, as it's the capital city. The NATO Allied forces got the west of Berlin, and East Berlin was given to the Soviet Union. Now, the Soviet Union were worried that everyone in East Berlin would simply leave for West Berlin. That's because life in West Berlin was not as bad as life in East Berlin. They had a lot more food, money, resources, and jobs. So to stop this happening, they simply built a wall around West Berlin, known as the Berlin Wall. So during that time, there were actually three airports in Berlin. Tegel Airport and Tempelhof Airport were in West Berlin, and Schönefeld Airport was in East Berlin. For a long time, Berlin had three airports until 2008 when Tempelhof closed down. Now, obviously by that time, the Berlin Wall had been taken down. So it seems silly to have two airports so close to each other, so instead they decided to just make one large airport and incorporate the two. After a while, they decided to build the airport just south of the Berlin Schönefeld Airport. That way they could use some of the runways from the old airport in their new airport. And they would call this new airport the Berlin Brandenburg International Airport. By 2012, the airport was pretty much completed, so they got ready to move the two airports into one. They highlighted the date, the 2nd of June 2012, to make that airport operational. The plan was, in the middle of the night, the two last planes would touch down at Berlin's two airports. Those airports would then close down, and by road, they would move all of their stuff into this new airport. They had planned this for years and closed down many highways so they could move everything from those two airports into this one new airport. Everything had all been prepared. They'd made sure the highways could support the weight of all the planes moving. They'd also sold new tickets from that airport for months. And there was also supposed to be a big grand opening where the German Chancellor Angela Merkel would open the airport up. But 26 days before the opening date, it was announced that it wouldn't be opening until March of the following year, 2013. So that was in 2012, but as I record this, in August of 2019, the airport is still not open. That's because it said this airport has had more than 3 million problems. The first reason why they had to delay the airport's opening in 2012 was due to safety. Just years earlier, the worst airport fire of all time happened in Düsseldorf, Germany. So Brandenburg Airport wanted to make sure that would not happen there, which is why they got fire safety checks. So they simulated a fire by releasing smoke, and the fire alarms pretty much did not work. They realized the wiring for the fire alarms was a fire risk in itself. And the air vents, which were designed to suck out the smoke, would actually explode in the event of a real fire. So instead of having fire alarms, they decided to hire 800 people to act as fire spotters. That's right, they literally hired 800 human fire alarms. But this was obviously ridiculous, so they decided to scrap that plan, and that's why they had to delay the opening in the first place. Since then, there's been 9 different opening dates they've given, and they haven't met a single one. Another problem they realized were that many doors of the airport were numbered incorrectly. They also realized they'd accounted for way too few passengers. Because of this, they needed more space and more check-in desks. There was also an issue with the roofing of the airport, as they feared it may cave in. Because of this, all building had to stop for some time, as no one could go in the airport because it was too dangerous. But their biggest problem happened in 2017. One of the main features of Brandenburg Airport was it was going to be a flight hub. This is basically where people on long flights would make connections. So if you were flying from one side of the world, you'd stop off at Brandenburg and make a connection to get your next flight. Now, there was only one airline that actually did this operating out of Brandenburg Airport, and that was Air Berlin. But in 2017, Air Berlin went bankrupt and closed down. So this meant the main purpose of the airport could not even be fulfilled, as there was no airline to fulfill it. Then that same year, they had to replace all 800 of their screens because they'd been left on for the entire construction process. That's right, the departure screens, which had never even been used, had to be replaced. This cost them over $500,000, so they pretty much burnt money. Today, their official opening date is October of 2020. But most say that will not happen and they will delay it again for a 12th time. That's because their fire suppression system, which wasn't working in 2012, still is not working today. So the airport's been built and looks very clean and nice inside and has done for many years. But it's never had one single flight or passenger ever. Some say the entire thing has been such a big mess, they may just tear the entire thing down and use the two airports they currently use today. So far they've spent $9 billion on this airport. And the funniest part is, nobody's sure who to blame for all of the time and money wasted on this airport. I guess on the bright side, Germany has made the world's first emission-free airport. But that's only because it literally has 0 flights. Check out the poll in the top right corner and vote if you've ever been to Germany or not. I have, but suffice to say I did not land at this airport. If you guys want some more amazing videos, then why not check out my second channel? There'll be a link to that on screen in a moment. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now, leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.